My beautiful Eggy peeps, ladies and sirs, it is me, Bud, mayor of Eggy Town, self-appointed, I must say. Well, we already have a judge, so I call myself the mayor, right? I dropped a video the other day talking about reviewing the first night in Vermont, and the same day that I dropped that video, which was just a teaser, the show dropped on Nugs. So I was able to re-listen to it and decided that I wanted to give it a more formal review than just kind of glowing it up from memory. And so I actually have notes for this one, and we're going to get right to it. So August 6th, Eggy at Stowe Cider Shakedown Lounge in Stowe, Vermont. I will set the setting for you first because I did do that in the other video and you're not going to see it. So we're up 3 hours north into Vermont from Massachusetts, and which is pretty far up. We're like between Burlington and Montpelier, and ski towns, you know, lots of little ski like businesses and stuff, and plenty of businesses for the locals and all, but this set and setting for this place. So we're 15 minutes from the hotel. We are out in the further away from the population center of the small village, and you pull into this parking lot. On one side, on the left, is the Stowe Cider proper, kind of like a brewery, I guess, or a meadery or whatever, I don't know, a cidery. And then across the parking lot is the Shakedown Lounge building, which is, you'll see some videos of this eventually, but man, oh man, it's probably, I mean, it's a nice little place. It's a beautiful little setup, actually. You walk into the Shakedown Lounge area, and there's a bar on the right, and you know, a nice long bar, and then some seating and stuff. And they normally have a menu, but of course, when we were there, they didn't have one. The kitchen was being renovated, so all they had was French fries. Saltiest French fries I've ever had on tour, but they were great. And then there's like this little ante-room that you can walk into once you get through the high-end security that Vermont has. And there's just curtains blocking you from the next room. And then there's another set of curtains on your right. The curtains on the right go to the upstairs where there's like a small balcony and maybe room for 10 people, and the green room. So if you're up there on that balcony, you're literally right outside the green room. The guys were there the whole time with the door open. You know, you respect the boundaries, but they were very accessible if you wanted to stick your face in and say hello, or otherwise interrupt their train of thought with your random crap. Anyways, it's probably 1.5 car garage size room. It's not very big at all. There is a bar downstairs at the back of the room, but blah, 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 blah. The venue always has something to do with the vibe of the show, to me anyways. And these smaller venues and these kind of out of the way, far away places, or places that are deep in wilderness, seem to always bring a vibe of their own. Vermont, for one thing I've experienced in Vermont, is the businesses up there. My stomach is growling. The businesses up there really enjoy or don't spare much expense on quality. So the speakers in this place were great. Let's get to it. They opened up the set with Parceled Serotonin, and this is what I wrote. Get the words, get the intensity. Is that a gunshot? I think it might be a new snare. I don't even know, because I don't really look at his drum set and like study the pieces. But there's a red snare back there. I think it's a snare. I don't even know. But the thing was like a gunshot going off. And opening up the song Parceled Serotonin with those drum shots, the room was like sharp, and the first thing I thought was the speakers are killer. It opened with a really hot tempo. I was wondering if they were going to like end it short, ripcord it, but who cares? I didn't even care at that moment. They were coming out so bright that time already didn't exist, and you'll hear it because Jake was just ripping, and Danny was rolling, and Goodman has this like heartbeat rhythm going in Parceled Serotonin. The next song was Oh What a World. This is a Casey Musgrave cover, and here's what I wrote. I was on the rail for this, and Grown men don't weep in public, but for these minutes, I am a child. Music as surprise therapy in real time can be a little unsettling, right? Loud enough to overwhelm the senses, gorgeous harmonies opening the door for like this dream state of like cadenced contemplation where my mind is just thinking about the words and all of the images that it conjures up. And Jake's like squawks after the lyrics are matching or as tight as the snare sounds. Donnie and Mike seem to be like hammering in time for a few seconds, and it's just like a hot air balloon that changes tones and tempos and pulls me straight into this like floating lyrical ending that was just beautiful. Their harmonies are great. That left us with, oops, hold on. Oh What a World went into Come Up Slow. I'm sorry. Oh yeah. It's no wonder I was being lifted by a hot air balloon. It was Partito Alto next, which is a Airto Morera cover. I'll probably always butcher his name, but here's what I wrote. A perfect gel of four talents walking us out of the emotional lyrics of Oh What a World and into this garden of like sonic safety. Several fans right away identified the cover song, and it's got this unique opening sequence, I think, maybe in a bit higher key or an octave or whatever. I don't know, but it was new to the ear in some way, some unknown way. Jake and Donnie match these distortive tones on the signature like pulls and crawls of the song that's just a classic, timeless sound. Mike and Alex were in like a visible comfort zone. Mike owned this piece from front to back. They are fabulous. I call them the Fabulous Four in my own mind a lot of times, but they read each other during this song, and they let Alex drive the samba that it is, and Jake's always finding the right space and tone to just make it exciting, you know? The reverb distortion, I don't know if it's reverb distortion, I don't know what it is, but it has a depth in this song like I'm picturing wind chimes the size of the Prudential building, just like massive scale tone, you know, and just proportions that are hard to describe. I'm hoping that this lasts forever. I know it's not gonna, and I'm thinking back to Proud Larry's and the Today and Tomorrow that they played there a couple of years ago, and I've realize in my mind's eye at the moment that I am hearing a masterpiece of expression as it happens. Wow, speaking of as it happens, you should hear this baby going. Oh, I can only wonder what the musicians are feeling as we collectively just kind of fly away into this sonic landscape together, because they aren't just four guys on the stage. They are with us somehow. It's kind of wild how it happens. But everything disappears. There is no room. There is no lights. There is no people. I'm feeling pretty weightless, and percussion is just driving. Oops, I'm really having a hard time with my notes today. The percussion is driving in this greatly, and the keyboards are just like delightful in their own way. It ends as easily as it starts, but that beautiful distortion does stay with Jake for a few more seconds into the next song. When you guys hear this Partito Alto, and I've just been thinking about his tone for a couple of days now, and I hear so much like, okay, filters. Typically, people think of filters and they think of it taking out the bad stuff. But that's not always what it is, right? A filter can leave things in the filter that you want and let everything else through that you don't want, or vice versa. To me, Jake is the filter for every guitar I've ever heard in my life. I want it to go through Jake Brownstein, because he takes tones and sounds that I've heard from other musicians that have delighted me for my entire life, and makes them his own through his own filter. And I'm not talking about cover songs. I'm just talking about that tone. And like I said, I just feel like I wish I could filter all guitar through his perception, you know. I know that's a crazy thought, and obviously it's a sweeping statement, but that's kind of where I'm at. As I said, it ended as easily as it started, and that distortion stayed with Jake for a few more seconds into the next song, which was, Come Up Slow, right? Why are my notes not cooperating? Come Up Slow is a love song for the masses, if you ask me. I don't know why it's not on every radio station being played right now. I think back to Blues Traveler in the 90s and early 2000s with the songs that they had smashes with that you now hear in elevators and shit. Not that this is elevator music by any means, but just the scope of how far it can go, you know. And we need the lyrics to this song online. I love this song every time it's played. Play it twice every time you play it, you know. It's geniuses converting love to lyrics and lullaby. And it's just, you can hear the love coming through it when it was, imagine when it was written. Like, that's my interpretation. Who knows if they just, you can never tell, I guess. But I have written down laser gun keys, machine gun toms, sword of steel guitar, and a Goodman bass line that reminds you of the 60s epics. That's Come Up Slow. Goodman's bass line, by the way, someone comment or put it in Green Egg somewhere. If there's free software out there that can isolate an instrument, because I just want to hear that bass. You know, I'm playing music upstairs and I go downstairs and the only thing coming through the floor is the bass. And I want to stay down there just so I can hear that and nothing else for a little while. Come Up Slow is a great, great song. Getting its day in the sun for sure. And we're still in set one now. And the next thing I have written is for One Stop Shop. Now, pretty sure there was a long show gap on this. But here's what I have written. The band drops into this like they slide into the van. They've been doing it forever. They know every inch and every rattle, but they always find a little unknown adventure in the trip, right? They find this nice, buzzy, trippy, buzzsaw, glass pipes, Beatles, revolver kind of pocket for a few minutes. Alex is unreal. If you're not watching, it's hard to realize how much is actually happening back there. The naturality, the natural flow of his fills and riffs are just, there's nobody else doing it like him. There's nobody else with the presence of mind to be playing like that. It's just I don't know. He does it like, and he's singing, so he's like got one half his brain on autopilot with something going on back there. But an absolute joy to watch. I felt like there was two songs there for a minute before the big ending. I always forget that One Stop Shop has this like segue part that you think is another song and then it's really not. But this is the first, I think, song of the night that's kind of long, and it gets like 12 minutes, right? So, Ricky Gervais was the next song, and here's what I have written. It was at this point that I started looking for the party hats and wondering where we were going to end up. It was a mood shift, going from an already euphoric state to like popping champagne. It was an escalation from a point of you're already 6 inches off the ground because they're just delighting the senses with the loudness and the cleanness and the quality of the sound and the oneness of the band and the heaviness of the lyrics that they had us coming through. And then Ricky Gervais was like a cleansing party song to get you out of the happy place you were in, but like even a brighter, a less serious, I guess would be the word I'm looking for, mind space after One Stop Shop. One Stop Shop's pretty serious. Oh What a World's pretty heavy, and there was just this long instrumental partito alto, and then Come Up Slow, One Stop Shop. So where the music is making us absolutely euphoric, like I said, the lyrics, if you know them, have got you contemplating things that might not be the happiest in the world, but the music is carrying you down this river of current. And all of a sudden, bam, we're into the rapids, and it's Ricky Gervais again. And it's like, whoa, holy crap. What's happening here? This is a second set song, if you ask me. I would never complain about it anywhere in any set, but it just strikes me as a second set song. So let's get back to what I wrote. Yeah, it was a mood shift going from an already euphoric to like popping champagne kind of mood. And once it was clear we had a Ricky, which was like 5 seconds in, it was party time, Wayne, for sure. Ricky seems like a set one song, but it's a wow burger for sure in the first set. And now I'm saying to myself, this has got to be a set ender. It's 12 minutes. We're going on 12 minutes. I'm trying not to check my watch, but I love to know how long these songs are in the moment sometimes. So this is one of the funnest songs they have, and it was another 12-minute banger. So how do they continue after a song like that? Well, the Shins cover No Way Down, which this song matches the band very well, although I'm not sure I've ever heard the original, so I'll have to check that out, and we all should hear the originals of these songs they're covering, not only for the original artist's sake, but for a frame of reference to know, okay, if they cover Magic Carpet Ride, someone my age has heard that song 10,000 times. So I know that song. When I have that frame of reference when they cover that. I have a frame of reference when they cover Tomorrow Never Knows, or a song from the band, Don't Do It, whatever. Songs that I have pounded into my pores over the years. But this song does match them very well, and they have a way of making every cover their own. They read the room very well, too. And so this song is a match for the place, the time, and the vibe. And if you don't know, Tex, I guess, is what they're calling Jake's guitar, the black one. This is apparently an homage to his grandfather. And so I say Tex is a clarion. Look up the word clarion if you're not sure what it means. I'll give you a little side quest for the day. But Tex is a clarion, and this song is a great example of that. And Mike is so easy to lean on for these guys and to build off of. And he's always where they need him. Every millisecond of every song, the guy is just, I would be so happy if I was in a band to be able to call him my bassist, my friend, whatever. But to have that guy, they might have said it actually somewhere in either one of these shows or one of the recent shows, that you want Mike Goodman on your team. Like, he's got your back. And that is true in this. You can hear it in the music. He is paying attention. He's not, you see some bassists and they're like doing their own thing, but this guy is all about support being the feature, and it's fantastic. It's just an absolute joy to the ears. And so with that, my people, thanks for listening. Thanks for everybody that's subscribing. I meant to say that in the very beginning. If you made it this far, wow, much praise, much thanks. Nothing in this for me except getting these thoughts out of my head and sharing them with people that that I see that, you know, say, hey, keep it going. So shout out to Ray in Syracuse. This one's for you, baby. And with that, peace out.